Hey everyone, welcome back to your daily dose of Ecstasy Chat. I'm Serge.
I'm Rob.
I'm Gen Z.
And I'm Gen X.
And today we are going to continue our reaction to the Backrooms. The previous one kind of left off on a cliffhanger where everything was shut down. Seems like the async employees for the first time saw footage of the monster. And they're like, we need to shut this all down. And they like walled off several sections and they like put up some more barriers. And this next video, the presentation, it takes place 2 days afterwards, right? And so it's called presentation, and which leads me to believe, is this a presentation as to show like the stakeholders why we need to cancel the project, or is this them going forward with the presentation they already had planned, and they're like, even though it's dangerous, let's just keep going with it because of greed, right?
For sure. It's too interesting. We have found something, and it's bigger than what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, so I'm wondering which one of those two is going to be, whether it's a presentation to show why the project needs to be canceled, or if it's going to be trying to hide the fact that there's this monster or whatever issues going on, and in order to try and secure that funding. I'm going to guess it's the latter, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's a presentation, and we're just guessing here, but that they're closing this program down. Too much is going on, too dangerous, and they discovered something very real in there that they don't know anything about. It's not controllable.
All right, so we're kind of going opposite theories. So I think the corporation is gonna be greedy, and they're gonna want to keep going with the project and to convince the stakeholders to give them the funding. And Rob, you think that they're gonna be like, it's too dangerous, and they're gonna try and convince the stakeholders that it needs to be canceled.
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
The presentation.
All
right.
We're going to be watching the presentation. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
FBI warning. So once again, don't reproduce this, right? Ooh. We're getting an actual meeting room. They play the logo. A research institute. A space prospective development.
The world around us is ever-changing. Throughout this past century, we have seen the advent of countless innovations that have completely reshaped life as we know it. But with all of this growth comes a number of undesirable byproducts. Byproducts that, if left unchecked, have the potential to irreversibly scar our modern world. As human expansion is projected to increase exponentially in the
This definitely reminds me of the old like kind of infomercials or like ways of advertising. So far, I think it's leaning towards my theory because it seems like they're setting up an argument for, look at all these problems we have, and then here's how we solve them.
We have no space. Yeah, and here's a solution. Right. Yeah.
coming decades, we must account for these never-before-faced challenges in ways equally never-before considered. Here at Async, we believe we have found the solution.
Here's the solution to your problem.
The low-proximity magnetic distortion system.
California-based company.
Yep, and there's the Backrooms.
What is the low-proximity magnetic distortion system?
First of all, if you're gonna try and sell something, you gotta come up with a better name than low proximity magnetic distortion system. How about like the unlimited storage space solution or something?
I understand that. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Using 32
Oh, come on.
magnetic distortion
All right, we gotta read that,
system.
right? Let's
Using
see.
30
Using the low proximity magnetic distortion system, something, condensing and allow detectable to by rapidly. I wish point the proportion enough for. I don't think we can
They
make it.
redacted so much.
Yeah, they've redacted everything pretty much.
will be distributed across all points. Allow
Look at that. That's the Backrooms. It's those plus-shaped pillars, and they're moving stuff through it.
And you
to
can
storage.
see, through the portal or the threshold there, they're moving through that doorway into the back room.
For those of you who played Portal, like Portal 2, that game series, it kind of reminds me of that right now, the way the presentation is being handled, like these graphics. So that's another thing I'll have you play. Ready?
Okay.
allowing for cargo and personnel to seamlessly pass through their designated threshold.
Yep, this is...
People moving in. Lots of
While
people.
our current threshold is limited in scale, future models will be able to span entire rooms, allowing for the transfer of larger vessels and equipment.
Wow. How'd they manage that, though? It seemed like they managed to get this portal working in the first place by like a freak accident. So. Ooh, are these the stakeholders? They look like stakeholders, right? Because they're dressed all fancy and they have some stuff. Holding a briefcase. At least the two in the back do. In the front looks like a personnel.
Look at this.
Ah.
Now here's where money talks.
Yeah, look at that. Leasing and maintenance, conventional storage versus A space. I think so far that this is them
To
pushing
sell it, just like you said.
But they're doing this presentation. It's so interesting that they're doing it right after this whole freak accident happened, right? I would think they would want to delay at the very least until they've like
Agreed.
tried to like yeah. I guess you're right.
I mean, they should, and you're right. You would think they would.
Yeah. I mean, even
makes for an interesting story.
Even from a greedy perspective, I would think that they would try and see if there's anything that they could just push back the meeting by like a week or so to try and figure out how to get rid of this monster. Or, but I guess like you said, they don't want to hesitate. They just want to go all in. Maybe, especially since there's a problem revealed, they don't want the problem to grow bigger, so they can secure the funding before then.
That's right.
And then yeah.
Key point right there.
Total available storage. How did they even know this? They haven't explored the whole place, have they?
Estimated national supply.
And they're showing this is so much cheaper and it has so much more space, right? But this is what confuses me though. This seems like a bold-faced lie or exaggeration because they have no idea how much space is there.
They don't even know all of the back room.
Yeah, they didn't even go that deep in the last video when the guy got lost, and they just went around a couple of corners, and then they're like, "Oh, this is new." So, I don't think they nearly explored enough.
No, agreed.
To know this, right? But it's showing, I guess, that's limitless, right?
Yeah.
Is this
Corridor 8.
Oh, and this is the same three people, right? Because there was a lady in a skirt, and then a guy in a suit, and then, of course, the doctor-looking person. Or researcher, scientist.
Corridor 8, but this is in the facility, the research facility. Okay.
So those look like some sort of server racks, right?
That's right.
Industrial processing. So they're showing like the whole layout of how they want to organize everything. Like storage and warehousing is this area.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. They're like labeling each section they're hovering over and just kind of, I guess, doing like a mock-up of what this would look like. And the corporate offices as well.
Workspaces, yeah.
They even have like cafes and stuff.
Yeah. Trees in there to make it look nice.
They put railings around the holes.
Yeah, good observation. Well, look at this. A people mover. A shuttle.
Right. Yeah, it's a very ambitious project.
Look, it's a bed. So what they're showing here are residences now.
Right. Yeah, it says residential. So this is...
Oh, okay, right there.
Yeah, so it's like selling living space as well, right?
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't want to live there. How about you?
No.
I like how right as it started up again, it shows us something.
Well, yeah, because it looks really nice. Oh, look at that. And I could live there. And then suddenly it goes to...
the reality. Yeah. And it's the red glow again. Remember in the neighborhood, it was also red. Oh, I guess that's just machinery. Never mind.
Okay.
Is this one of the main head guys? I can't tell.
I recognize him.
What is this place? I don't think we've seen this before. I don't think we've seen this location. Whoa. Hold on. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
It sounded like a monster for a second. Was that the monster?
Something clinking.
You hear that that exhale sound?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like a steam pipe, but the monster made the same sound. Remember, like it had like the heavy breathing.
Yeah.
It kind of sounded like that. You hear that?
Yeah.
Huh?
You have to listen to it very closely. Good job picking it up.
Yeah. I just noticed that, but I was
Whatever it is.
look at that. They're showing
Resonance.
concepts. These are concept images of how you could lay out your home. But these are some boring layouts. I think if for a company that's trying to secure a lot of funding, they could have done a lot better. Because look how much space is on the wall and the floor.
Yeah, it's not really appealing.
Yeah, and the furniture layout just kind of seems disorganized, kind of messy, right?
It's just too Spartan.
Mm.
It's not warm at all.
Is this supposed to be like a lobby, or is this supposed to be like a single room to show you? Look, you could have this massive residential room if you,
Right. Yeah, I thought it would be residential because they were just showing that. But this looks really big, like wasted space for residents.
Yeah. But I guess this to me looks more like a lobby than a room. But at the same time, they could also be saying, hey, you could have this massive room here, and because it's so cheap to have this living space. Look at that. Yeah, these are totally some sort of investors or stakeholders, because this guy who's like a scientist or researcher here, he's like showing them around the place, right? Yeah. He's like pointing at stuff and he's saying things.
Pentagon table. Interesting. The Doe. Remember the John Doe? So the autopsy maybe.
Oh, there's subtitles. Let's see. Are any of... Hold on. I'm just going to check. I just enabled subtitles. But we could hear that earlier, so I guess it doesn't matter, right?
Okay.
I was hoping the subtitles would say what they're saying here right now, but it's not helping us. Yeah, this guy looks like he's definitely someone important, right? Because there's a lot of focus on him.
Yeah.
And is this guy showing that the investors, stakeholders? That's just what we're going to refer to them as. Is this where it opens up?
That's the threshold.
The threshold, right? The
portal.
The portal into the Backrooms. Right, that's where they look down from.
Yep.
That we saw earlier. And is this the same guy who was looking down at them?
I don't know if it's the same guy, but it's that same window, space, that same control area.
They're making their way out. This is in the Backrooms now.
Yeah.
This is a little facility that they built with like the tile floor that leads out. Wait, did they just send... Hold on. Look at that. The main guy who was like touring them throughout the facility didn't go with them.
Right.
Did you just shove them out there? Why would you just send them out there on their own?
Let's see.
I'm assuming that's the guy in the suit, right?
Yeah.
The male investor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's him, and then we have the... Okay, so I was thinking they're both stakeholders, but maybe she's like his secretary. Maybe he's like the head honcho.
Right.
And in that case, I wonder, is he an investor, or is he like the leader of the company and one of his employees is showing him around?
Well, but the present is called the presentation.
Presentation.
That sounds more like it, actually.
More like a stakeholder?
No, more like...
Or more just showing to the CEO, right?
Right.
But at the same time, why would they have to win him over? He's the leader of the company, right? So maybe it is a stakeholder in that case, because they were doing this whole video beforehand showing him the concepts, right?
He's got to make a decision.
Oh, but he's the decision maker, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It could go either way. I'm not sure whether he's a stakeholder or the leader of the company. Oh, they actually like furnished a room, for an example. And look, they create like a little
prototype maze of the back room. A model.
Yeah, exactly. A model. You're right. Now look, I think this was on the thumbnail, which is they're all just kind of looking at this model. But it's just a piece. It doesn't show everything, right?
Right. It certainly doesn't show that made-up
Monster.
monster in the city where the monster resided.
Yeah, nor the neighborhood.
Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
The neighborhood.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good.
Control room.
Oh, everything's shutting down, right? To me, it sounded like an alarm, but I guess it's just the process of shutting everything down. Everything's shut down. Oop. Something about increased commercialization has been expedited.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad you think that way. In fact, if you look at clause 4, so it looks like they're going over some sort of contract. So maybe it is a stakeholder, right?
Clause 4 contract for sure. Something about my favorite director dies. I think I heard that wrong. Oh, something about the world technology, one of the main technologies for the world to recognize. Yeah, something to recognize.
Something about for the world to recognize about, I'm assuming about this technology. Like, I think that they're excited about this idea, right? Something about it's important to have like classification and the industry be with us or something. And then also some sort of alarm sounded like it went off, right?
Yeah. Just started.
Oh, look at! I think this guy right here. He leaned over. He's like, "Sir, can you come take a look at this?" Let's see.
Yeah. Send him over.
Yeah, he said, "Can you please take a look at this?" And this guy said, "Could you two excuse me, please, for a moment?" So I think he was talking to those stakeholders, right?
Yeah.
Did you make that out? He says, I heard
No.
I heard this guy say, "What is it?" And then something. The other guy, what he said was just
That's
garble.
all I could hear. Yeah. What is it?
Oh, it's that guy.
Now in the control room.
That's the guy who went. So he did skip time, and now he's appeared here all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And he was the guy who went missing.
Yeah.
A while ago. Oh,
He was the fourth one that
was part of the team.
went alone.
Right.
Yeah.
And he just suddenly reappears. That's that's interesting.
Yeah.
And
So he's reappearing about 2 months and a week later.
yeah.
Here he is. Yeah.
And he didn't have anything to eat or drink in that whole time. He just magically reappears. And he's the one who set off the alarm. Now, he left the door wide open, so hopefully the monster doesn't come after.
Right.
He looks very confused.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't recognize this place. It wasn't built here before. Oh, come on.
Wow.
We've got to see the next one. What a way to end it, huh?
Yeah. So he walks into this control room, right? He's lost. He's disoriented,
Bewildered. After having witnessed the monster. Well, not directly, but he heard it.
Yeah. Yeah, and he walks into this room and he recognizes sort of his own environment, right? Computers over here, hazard room, hazard door, all of this. And they're watching, they being what you're calling the investors, they're watching this over the cameras, over the monitors.
Well, the investors were in a meeting with this one guy who was like selling them on it, who was giving the presentation.
But the guys on the monitors.
And the guys on the monitors, they called him over. And he asked the investors if they could excuse him for a moment. So I don't think the investors see it, right?
No,
the investors just are clued in that something's not right, which is not a very good thing when you're giving a presentation. But Huh. I want to see what happens next. I really hope the next video directly shows what happens to this other guy. Now I'm wondering what they're gonna do. If they're just gonna take him in for questioning, or if they're gonna treat him in a hostile manner, or if they're gonna be friendly, like welcoming.
Right. If he's on video in a different time period versus them being able to go into the room, and I think what they can do is open up the portal, go into that command center room, and then pull him out, right? Because they closed everything off.
I'm assuming they could just open the door and he could come through. Yeah. But I wonder if they're gonna be distrustful of him because they just saw this other monster and this guy just appeared after all this time.
Right.
So it's kind of suspicious, right?
Either that or they're gonna just be happy he's back and he's safe, so that there's less liability.
Right.
I don't know, but what I do know is I have to see the next one.
Yeah, that's a for sure. Wow, that ended so much more interesting than I thought it would, because I already was intrigued by the whole presentation that they're giving, but then at the very end we finally get to see what happened to that one guy. That was one of the main things I really wanted to see, was what the heck happened to the guy.
Right. We've been waiting for this guy to show up again.
We've been waiting to figure out what happened to that one guy who traveled in time, it seems, right? So I can't wait for the next one.
I can't wait either.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the because it helps out the channel. And stay tuned for our next video. We have a whole playlist of our Backrooms reactions, and yeah, we're just gonna dive into the next one.
Yeah, I was gonna ask a question. Shall we? And it sounds like
we shall.
Definite.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. Take care.